So the next on the test bench, or the surface plate, indicated all over and confirmed if there is wear, but I've seen that it can be used then by indicating on the corners. And measuring with shims, proving if you can find some gaps. This is the front. Yes, here you can use this 500ths of a millimeter shim or 2 thou to feel, get a better view, just to see that for you. 500ths under easily. So there is wear. Quite a long way actually also. I expect that to be quite a lot of work. As you can see, it just blues on the edges. I'm attempting to use hand scraping technique on this one. So with this much wear, I need to bolt it down so that you can really push hard. So as it hinges only on the corner, I know there will be quite a lot of work. Assume it follows the same pattern as the other two, as I've already scraped, although the video here is the first one. And just marking up where it hinges. And could then, by hand scraping technique, then also go further on. So not just the bluing, but I know it is worn in the middle, and then I can cheat a little bit and go further in. There is just no way around but getting to the lowest area, which is supposedly around here. I think I'm going to, since it was really low all the way up here, I'm going to part it in, or divide it into different parts, like so. At least initially, then the same over here, although this should be taken all the way, I think. Low headstock is no problem. And then, of course, then I can take that either 1, 2, or 3 times, but at least here 1, 2, and 3 times initially. So I cheat a little bit, and merely as a demonstration, I just standing on a kind of a low stool to get a little bit further up, and then the scraping technique then uses the body to push, either the hip or the stomach or the elbow or shoulder. And then you can scrape further on better than normally with using your both hands to push, no, to control the scraper and push with the body instead. This is much more controllable. At least I think so. And you can really shovel off the material here. Long strokes, quite hard. You can see how hard I push down. And then turning around and taking it from the other side. And here I speed up things a bit. You need to cross your cuts like this. And here I'm just taking a little bit at the edges just to round it up. Then once more again, and then this will be the first scrape at that area, but then the second on the area a little bit towards the tailstock, and then the third all the way up at the tailstock and or the end there. And of course, expect this to be, it's rough scraping, so expect it to be like that you lose the details if there was any were any details. Anyway, this will be dealt with later. Okay. And rough scraping is just paint scraping so that you, or area scraping so that you get down to the lowest point. Follow up with details later. So more random how it looks like. And of course, stoning is part of the ordeal because of all the burrs that are made. But keep a track on your progress so that you don't move too far ahead and too deep or get too wild. But you have to really go at it also. And time for a control measurement again, starting off with the 2 thou or 500ths of a millimeter shim. And improvement, at least it's not the same as it was. And then with a little bit in excess of 1 thou or 300ths of a millimeter. And this enters, meaning we have taken off, well, in a little bit less than 1 thou. Mark up where this enters, and then on the other end, so I can see, and then I can then rough scrape a little bit, at least towards that or these points. It's creeping in towards the middle, so I'll be a little bit more careful. At least I can scrape safely anything up on the outside of that perimeter. So my point is now first just turn it around, flip it over and turn it around so I can prove my point a little bit better. And be careful not to scratch the plate. That's easily done. So even though we are particular about the cleanliness here, try to feel and listen for scratch or for particles, I mean. Something is easily then loosened from the bed casting itself and then drops down to the plate. So we see that here is where the shim went furthest in, or that's my point here. And then with the 300ths of a millimeter shim, we had of something in the region of what I'm drawing up here, kind of wear left, because it didn't enter all the way through. At least that's my assumption here. My strategy would then be to leave that area alone. So rough scraped the rest. So keep away from that area. But the rest should be able to be scraped down a further 2 to 300ths of a millimeter, at least a couple. So without any really paying more attention to any details.